Good afternoon. The date is September the 28th. This is a Friday, 2018. And once again, we are here to offer the Ask Welfare Rights broadcast. My name is Maureen Taylor. I work with the Michigan Welfare Rights Organization, and I'm here with my colleague, who is the national chairperson of the Welfare Rights Union. And Marion is going to give you all an official welcome. So, Marion, why don't you say hello?
Hello, and again, we're happy to be among you and happy to be sitting up here, for one thing, both of us, because I'm getting younger and Maureen's getting older.
Move on.
Okay, now, we want you to participate, but bring your pencil and paper, as well as remember the numbers. First of all, you're listening to WHPS.
Where'd you write?
Right there.
Okay.
WHPS. I knew I was right. And we want you to use the phone numbers down below, 313-868-4336. Or, if you can't get that way, dial 313-868-0351. But if if you find yourself the phone being busy, keep dialing that phone and get on in here and say what you got to say. The website, in case you can't get it on TV or whatever, is www.tv33whpr.com. Please call in. And remember, this is only a 1 hour show. And there's a lot of people at times be telling us they called but they couldn't get in.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Maureen, where are we going?
Well,
We
a
got
couple
a lot
of
of
things.
things.
Yeah, a lot of things. You ask people to get their telephones and turn them up and get your pens and papers because we have some announcements that we want to let people know about. But also, we want people to know I've been promising, Mary, the last couple of weeks that I was going to get the radio station to play for us this rendition of Aretha Franklin's "Mary, Don't You Weep."
Oh, that's it.
So I got that
Get
today.
you some tissue.
Yeah, because she make you jump. But
Yeah.
we're going to do that right about in 30 minutes because it's 7 or 8 minutes. And it's just fantastic. So we're going to put that on. But before we get there, here's some announcements, Marion. I went to, I've been a lot of different places. I'll start with this right here. Last week I went to the Greg Mathis Community Center, which is over on Greenfield, Marion.
I'd say that again because a lot of people, you remember how shocked I was when I heard it?
Well, let me just back the story up a little bit. What happened is that at Miss Aretha Franklin's homegoing ceremony,
Yes.
Judge Greg Mathis was a speaker.
Yes.
And he talked about a year earlier, he and Miss Aretha had been having a conversation about the Flint water poisoning. And she had had him to make a commitment that he would do something about it because she said it just wasn't enough effort, not enough emphasis or highlighting going on. So he made a commitment that he would do something about it and never quite got around to it. So when she passed, he was talking about that, and he made the announcement in front of everybody that he was going to go back and take up that struggle. So that's how this happened, Mary. So last week, we were called, a lot of us got a chance to get over there to the Mathis Community Center. It's at the 19,000 block of Greenfield, right off of 6 Mile, right off between 6 and 7 Mile, something like that, I forgot. Right off of 7 Mile, that's where it is, right off of 7 Mile Road. And so we went there, and a number of folks were there. And when Judge Mathis came in, he talked about why it's important to do something and to highlight this Flint situation that almost 5 years, Mary, June of 2014, still people are drinking poison water or using poison water because it's not fixed. So the mayor was there of Flint, and she talked about, some of the work that has been done, but nowhere near what she thought should have been done by now. It was really something to hear. But anyway, now there's this great big emphasis, and I'll leave. I got a few of these, so I'll leave one of these down here. So the judge is organizing a caravan. So they're talking about pulling together 100 semi trucks, vans, cars, all together, 100 vehicles. Some of them will be semi trucks, some of them will be vans, some of them will be private cars, and transportation. And that we're going to go to Flint starting November the 1st. And this is, they calling it, Marion, a statewide activity. Hmm?
November the 1st is next week.
I believe October comes first.
Oh, you said November.
Yes, October always comes before
Are
November.
you sure?
Every time. All right. But what the judge is calling for is a statewide event.
Yes.
But he has a national presence. So I think this is going to end up being a national activity. But we're going to gather in front of 19300 Greenfield on Thursday, November the 1st. And we're going to start having these caravans, these cars, and these semis lining up about 10. At 12 o'clock at the center, on Greenfield. And what's supposed to happen is however many we have at that time, about 11:30, 12 o'clock, we're going to leave the center. Water filled within all of the vehicles. And then this caravan is going to make its way to Pontiac and pick up some more cars and some more vans and some more semis there. And then from there, we're going to go to Saginaw, and I want to talk to them about that, because, see, Saginaw is past Flint. So, maybe the folks in Saginaw need to come down from Saginaw and just meet us in Flint, But the conversation now is to make a stop in Pontiac, then make a second stop in Saginaw, picking up some more semis and cars and so on. And then we'll end up in Flint about 4 or 5 o'clock. On November the 1st. Got to talk about that a little bit too, because it started to get dark at 5. So
Maureen,
we want to, I'm just talking about the technical stuff.
No.
Well, if we don't talk about the technical stuff, we're going to arrive just like what happened with Sister Aretha. By the time they got to the cemetery, it was dark. So, but here's the plan. Water and rally distribution. And one of the first stops will be at the Quinn Chapel. And there will be other stops there. We want to talk to them about that as well, because, the history of people delivering water in Flint is that oftentimes they miss public housing. They miss low-income income communities. So we raised that with the judge, and he wanted to hear more information about that, which we promised to share with him. But that's what this is about. So folks should know, mark your calendars. November the 1st is on a Thursday, 10 o'clock in the morning. We're going to meet up at 19300 Greenfield. Judge Mathis is going to be in the head car, and we're going to take this caravan, however many we have at that time. And so, because he has a national and international presence, it's going to be cameras galore, so all of that kind of stuff is going to be happening on that day. And then also, Marion, I thought it would be kind of an interesting piece. That's November the 1st. Brenda Jones has this Infinite Scholarship Program. That's what it's called, the Infinite Scholars. And this is their annual free scholarship fair for high school students, grades 9 through 12. Everybody's welcome. And what you're being asked to bring is copies of your high school junior year, so it may not be 9th or 10th, but 11th and 12th graders, bring your high school junior year transcripts, ACT and SAT test scores, letters of recommendation, and an essay, why I want to attend college, along with a resume. So I think this is really restricted to 11th and 12th graders. Mary, this event is going to happen on Thursday, October the 11th, Thursday from 4 to 8, down at the Eastern Market. And why this is important is folks that are interested in going to historically black colleges. And I really like it when kids go to historically black colleges so that they can get some of the historical pieces of information that they might need. So that's coming up. That's October the 11th, and certainly we're going to talk about this several times on why that's important. And Marion, 11th graders can start filling out information about going to college right now.
Yeah,
they don't have to wait.
They can begin to write counselors and everybody, particularly at the black historical colleges and what have you.
Yes.
So, the counselors started us when we were sophomore
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
write that, to begin
And
to
write
write that.
colleges. Yeah.
And write
Yeah.
colleges.
Okay, now I happened to be over at the African American Museum last week and picked up a few of these items. And we often to a battle. And Marion, say something about this battle with the board of the African American Museum. Bring people up to date. What is this fight about?
Who's going to control the African American Museum? Is it going to be for Dan Gilbert, and his cohort, or is it going to be for the African American and other working class
And
people?
community,
And
yeah.
the community as a whole. As 3 years ago, a young man by the name of Charles Ferris uh, ended up with the job of trying to bring programs into the African American Museum. If you had visited the African American Museum, there wasn't that much going on there.
Young man said that last week on the
Not
broadcast,
that
remember?
much, yes, going on there. And since Charles has been there every week, not only do you hear about what happened in the 60s, you also hear about historical stuff prior to the 60s and past the 60s. You meet people from different colleges and what have you. Students be there all the time. The teachers bring their whole classes there. And they have been amazed at the knowledge that they have not been given in the various colleges, high schools, and stuff like that, because the teachers didn't even know, about it. And not only that, he had developed a youth component part, ambassadors of the Afro-American Museum that be there all summer long. Not only all summer long, they're attached to the place. But here comes this man from Dow Chemical, along with GM and Ford and some more of the corporations who have been dominating the board, to say, no, this is not what we want. We want, Maureen, who said they were the determinant factors in this? You donated some money. That does not mean that you have to dictate to us what the African American Museum is all about.
They believe it does.
The other thing is, why did the mayor of Detroit leave the African American Museum out of the budget? But he had all the other museums in the budget.
DIA and the rest
DIA
of them,
and, all
and
the
the
rest
council
of them.
did the same thing,
This very same thing.
You
So
know.
they were laying the foundation, the base, to try to get rid of
Make it more corporate.
the African American Museum, and we cannot sit back and let this happen. I know Dr. Wright is turning over in his grave on what is happening. Here, once again, they're about to rob us of something that the people in the community, be you black, white, green, or yellow, Maureen, have been enjoying, and then they want to turn around and charge you.
Well, now, a week or so ago, there was a major meeting at Sacred Heart Church.
That's right.
And folks
Community
were called
meeting.
together. It was a community meeting.
Over
Folks were
200
called
people.
together, over 200, you're right, to try to lead a conversation to, what was going on. And with these new board members who show up with their pocketbooks and their
please.
wallets and whatnot, and they really believe that they have the right to talk about the programming needs to change so it'll reflect, and I'm not sure what the reflection is that they're looking for.
It's not
You
to
know,
reflect us.
Well, you remember what they want to do. I guess they put together a program
Oh,
schedule.
my God, yes.
And for Black History Month, they wanted to do a special study of Thomas Jefferson because the message was black people don't really understand him.
Well, we understood the slaveholder.
And
we
that,
understood the rapist.
we
the
child molester,
and everything else. We understood him, just like those folks that were on TV yesterday and the whole thing around Dr. Ford.
Oh, we're gonna talk about that.
Yes, yes. We understand you very well, and how you think you have the right to just.
Cause you have money and power.
Maureen, the right to do whatever the hell they want to with women.
Well, now,
children and all.
before we go there, let me just pick up. Here are a couple of things I picked up while I was there.
Yeah, I wanted to see
And
that.
this is, well, I missed both of them. September the 25th, this was Mississippi's exiled daughter, a panel discussion about civil rights and the whole issue of girls and how girls are mistreated in so many different places, and particularly harken back to how things were managed with young black girls. This was a free event. We missed that because, you know, we don't keep up like we
Charles
should.
brought it in.
Okay.
He brought that in.
He brought that there.
Not only that, Maureen. Go on, I forgot, because it was another interesting thing about
Okay,
this.
well, let me tell you about this. Boy, Jen would have loved this.
What?
The
Oh,
92nd
yes.
birthday of John Coltrane. John Coltrane.
92nd.
He would have been 92 years old if he'd still been here. That was last Sunday. Raphael Staton, Marquise Johnson. It was a whole musical rendition and tribute to John Coltrane.
And you know
Oh, man.
you know the jazz people came out.
Oh, I know they were all over the place.
All over
you know,
the
probably
place.
was no seats available. You just mentioned something about the children's programs that they have.
Oh, they have
Well,
quite a bit.
Freedom School that is going on Saturdays. I'm not sure. I think they just do that over the summers. Legacy of
No, they're still-
Literacy.
they're
The
still-
Freedom Schools are still going
They
on
might
now?
be still going on.
And maybe Saturdays. Okay.
And
So
it's
the
back.
Legacy of Literacy Incorporated presents children's interactive story time, where music, movement, and literacy collide, where your children are taught to perform, dance, sing, and tell stories.
And you remember,
Wow.
one of the programs that's there, I don't know if it's listed, is these. They have all these exercise classes and
Well, wait a
all
minute, wait a
that
minute.
stuff.
Let me finish and see if you remember this name. This is free, second Sunday of every month
Yeah.
at the theater. There's no cost. Contact person Michelle McKinney. I wonder if that's Harold McKinney's daughter.
Could be.
You know, because that boy, you remember him? We used to bring him to the jazz concerts.
Did we?
And he would tell a story about the different musical pieces.
Yes.
He'd do that. There's a piece that they do at the African American Museum that's called Links to Science. First 2 Saturdays of the month. This is free. J2 Gray is the organizer for that. Meet the Scientists. That's free. Come on down the last Saturday of the month and what is it that you need to know about scientists other than the young George Washington Carver? And they go over the list of some of these other scientists or whatnot. And then they've got something, Marianne, called the Family Activity Series. Enjoy the Wright Museum with this free Saturday activity. That means when you go down there on a Saturday, Marianne, what time does it start? 10 o'clock. If you get there by 10 o'clock, you will not be able to go home again until sometime after 6.
No, you can go home,
Back to back
but you
to
have
back.
to be back down there to get those children.
You know,
And
my
that-
goodness.
they be all over they have the freedom all over the museum.
And it says, enjoy the Wright Museum with this free every Saturday activity series for the whole family. Whether it's art or music or dance or acting or more, you and your entire family are sure to have a good time. This is the second, third Saturday of the month. It starts at 1 o'clock. Where? In the different classrooms. How much is it? Free.
That's right.
Free. So all of these different
And
programs.
The effects of that on the young people that have this type of Saturday activity makes them really advance in school.
Oh, it does.
And it opened up their eyes to a world that they have never seen before in their lives.
And they take out so many things like dance. They take away
Yes.
so many things like music and instruments and all those kinds of things. So it's just wonderful. These are Saturday activities.
And that's Dr.
You know?
Gloria.
Oh, you talking about an Ebb house?
Help, yeah.
Okay, then, Marion, let's say something about what you introduced already. And yesterday there was a hearing that was held, and Dr. What's her name?
Ford?
No, yeah, Dr. Ford. I couldn't think of her name that quick. I'm focusing on the other rat bastard.
Oh, Lord,
Dr.
have
Ford
mercy.
gave her statement
She
about
was-
how Brett Kavanaugh and another guy, this is, I guess, the one name, last name is Judge, who's
Whatever.
down at the river or at the sea, hanging out counting seashells or something.
Must
They said when
doing
they saw him
something
last,
already.
you know.
But he wasn't there.
No, he wasn't there. He had
And they
already
didn't
said,
summons him.
you know, well, they summons him today. All
They
right,
did?
yes, boy. So yesterday, she gave her statement, and it was hard to hear. It was hard to hear. But
was-
she went over what she said happened and who was in the room as best as her memory. And then the molester, Chester the molester, got on and started to cry. And then he started raising his voice. And he got mad. And you could see, boy, this guy got a temper.
Which one?
And this is Kavanaugh himself when he was
you talking about Kavanaugh? yeah.
Kavanaugh, yes, this is a lie.
He was-
My whole family is
He
ruined.
was fake.
And then when the Republicans came right afterwards and started talking about his life being ruined, if he doesn't get confirmed to be a Supreme Court justice, he still got a lifetime job
He
on the
still
circuit
got a-
court. What the hell
Yes,
are
he
they talking
has.
about?
And not only that, he still
He might be embarrassed. So
Yeah,
what?
So what? Who cares?
You know,
about
so,
his embarrassment. Look what he did to
Oh,
that woman.
you know.
And the other two women. And probably
And there's some more.
maybe.
There's some more coming out now.
Yes, yes.
And so Grassley already said, the head of the Judicial Committee, he said, we're going to have a vote on this. And we're going to have this discussion the following morning. Well, that didn't work out.
That didn't work out.
A Republican flake, Flake, happened to get on the elevator, and he was the one that was saying, well, I don't know. I think we better slow down because there's some ugly stuff here, and I'm not sure if we want to. Well, boyfriend was about to get on the elevator.
And those women surrounded
three
him.
or four women, you know how they do this here. They put their glasses on, and they was doing their nails and act
No,
like they
he-
wasn't paying
yeah.
attention. And when he got on there, and the door got ready to close, them
They
girls
thought-
grabbed them doors.
And he
and
was constantly
lectured him.
pushing the button.
You
And
know,
it wouldn't close.
They wouldn't let those doors open. They were standing there, and they lectured him
Oh,
about, let me tell you my story and what happened to me. And the next one, let me tell you my story, what happened to me, and how he better not discount
I'm
this.
telling you.
You know, so that went on, and of course there were cameras and everything there. And after that, Congressman Flake said, well, I'm willing to vote to get this thing out of committee, but I'm not going to take it any further unless the FBI is called. Dun, 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 dun. Well, that's what happened. And, of course, Trump, seeing that the winds
Oh, you
have
just
changed,
wait a
he
minute.
right away got on the telephone. You know, he probably sent out a Twitter message and told the FBI to let's have a quick, it doesn't have to be thorough, but let's have a quick investigation. And let's put the FBI on this to do a further background check. And, you
They
know,
need to check a
you
little
know.
more on him too.
well, they've already, that ship has sailed.
That ship
Yeah,
has-
yeah, yeah, they ain't going to do nothing with that guy.
That crooked.
You know. But that happened, and it looks like it's going to take about 4, 5, or 6 days for that to happen. And, of course, the next piece of conversation about that now is why, and I didn't wear my shirt today, we have to vote on November the 6th because we have to change who votes for a lot of different things,
Yes.
and we're going to get
Especially
to
that
that.
Supreme Court.
Yeah, we got to
And
get on
especially
it.
here in Michigan,
Yeah.
we don't want the attorney general that's there now to become the governor of the state.
No, that Bill Schuette,
He should shoot himself right on out of here.
you know, that would be shoe. You didn't say shoot.
I
That's
got no-
shoot,
shoot,
yeah.
yeah.
You
Right
know,
on out of here.
You know, but you know, the thing that's gonna hang him is his reluctance to pass or to support Medicaid for all. Expansive
Yes,
Medicaid, boy, he's
indeed.
against that.
Yes.
Says that insurance companies have the right to insure who they want, and they shouldn't have to be forced to
He
cover
is
people with
treacherous.
existing conditions. But the other thing that's going to hang him is that Flint thing, because he hadn't
Oh
done
my
anything
God,
about
he
Flint.
hasn't done nothing.
He been
And in
ignoring
fact,
stuff,
he
you
didn't.
know.
And
His
the
mama calling.
commercial is right. He didn't do nothing, and he started talking about Flint once that big meeting was held in Flint that exposed what was going on.
That he'd been called many times and hadn't
Yes.
done a thing. Caller, you've been so patient. Thank you for your patience, and thank you for calling Ask Welfare Rights.
Praise the Lord.
And praise the
Hello?
Lord. Yeah, praise the Lord.
I want to tell both of you, I want to thank you for covering everything so accurately. I want to inform you that Dr. Ford was telling the truth.
Oh yes, she was.
I lived in the area. So what you got to think about, my sons went to St. John's College High, and the other one went to Georgetown Prep. They do those things all the time
And get
because
away
they
with it.
sent us letters home warning us about having a party chaperone,
Yep.
and they drink to excess. So
Drink
you
to
really
excess,
have to
and
watch
some
your
die.
children.
Yeah.
Yes,
They give a good education, but you got to watch them socially.
absolutely.
They act up.
Absolutely.
They're really acting up because the boys are separated and the girls are separated.
Yep, they got that freedom, and they drink. You know, you've seen, caller, Mary, and you too, where some of these college students get to drinking, and
Oh,
they
my
want to
God.
pledge your fraternities and sororities. They
Oh,
drink
my
so much,
God, they drink
they
till
fall
they
down
die.
the steps and die. You know,
That's right.
it's
You and that
horrible.
young white
Exactly
guy
right.
did?
Yeah, it was
Oh,
horrible.
my
Yeah,
God.
yeah.
And they're good students academically, but they are drunks a lot of time. If you don't watch your children and have somebody to watch them while you're at work,
Socially,
no matter how old they are,
that's right, socially immature. Caller,
socially immature.
you are so correct, my
correct.
dear. Thank you
And
so
I want
much.
to tell you also, I agree with your governor's choice. I
Yeah,
don't even mention you know whose name.
that works for me.
It's not worth mentioning.
Thank you so much, dear. I
And God
appreciate
bless
that.
both of you.
All
You
right,
too,
thank you
darling.
so very much. All right, caller, in just a few minutes, we're going to put that message, that song on. So, caller, you're on the air. Thank you so much for calling Ask Welfare Rights. You're on the air.
You know, the election is coming up, but how do we get the people to come out there to vote? Because, see, the Democrat Party still feuding with each other, and I know how people feel about Shooty. That's true. But my thing is, when is the parties going to come together?
Please.
The Democratic
wait on
Party
them.
leads from behind.
That's how they
Okay,
always leave.
we're not waiting on them. You know,
wait on them, we be
no,
dead and
you know,
gone.
next week we're gonna put on our vote November 6th shirts, and we're gonna show up next Friday with this on.
And not
So
only
we're
that-
gonna be talking about that, but they lead from behind, so don't wait for them.
Not only that, we're going to find a place to have, if we can, a night that you can ask these delegates what
Question
they
the
question
candidates.
them. But we have to get a place because I know in some of these churches you can't do that.
All right, so Carla, we're on your page, but we're not waiting for them. We're moving on. We have to have certain things
have
to
to.
our benefit, and we're not going to trust anybody to fix it but us, okay?
See, we have to go to the homeless places and everywhere and let them vote. Let
right.
them vote.
All right,
our
caller.
membership, got over 500 names.
I remember. Caller, you are on the air. Thank you for your patience. You are on the air.
Yes, I'll be as briefly as I can. I'm in agreement about Dr. Charles Wright at
Yes.
the American Museum.
Yes.
He was my physician. He delivered
Oh,
my
All right.
first child
Okay.
You were
back in
blessed.
the 60s. And Dr. Wright was an honorable man. He was working both as his profession as a gynecologist on Westminster, off Woodward, and over on Warren and the Boulevard. He was building his Afro-American
Museum.
That's right,
Now,
over
we
the
went
West Grand
through All
Boulevard.
of this
Yeah.
as his patients had to wait for. Sometimes he had meetings in his office. We were pregnant women sitting and waiting for him to try to make that transition to the museum. We already had the dialogue about that. After he started the museum, there were legal, I don't know what they were, ramifications, I guess, because the system wanted to take the museum after he had gotten it started.
Absolutely.
That battle has already been fought. So we no longer need a dialogue about what corporations want to be involved.
Oh, no.
They really shouldn't have anything to do with this private organization.
These corporations see a good thing, and they're moving in to try to co-opt it.
You know what, Maureen, I have to say this. I'm coming more and more to the understanding that the Muslim have. I'm reminded of how little boys used to shoot marbles, draw a circle, and shoot the marbles.
I remember.
And if a conflict came up that one didn't like, he took his marbles and went home. I'm about ready to take my marbles and go home.
I do not know what you're talking about.
I understand. Thank you, darling.
Just because you don't like the rules, give me my
and that's
marbles.
right.
I will exit now.
Yes,
So
right.
that's the way I feel.
And we agree.
It's ours. It belongs to us. We should set the agenda and no one else.
And we're going to keep it. We're on your page, dear.
Yes,
And let me
indeed.
just mention one more item. We're going to have to get off this women and men. When a person becomes born again and enters into the Christ mind, like the Bible says, have the same mind in you as in Christ Jesus, there is neither male nor female. So we got to stop looking at the flesh and look at the spirit. Because in the spirit, there is neither male nor female. There can only be one in the Christ mind. And
I
so
hear you.
men and women go into that.
Thank you very much for sharing that. We're going to have to read about that one a little bit more.
Transformation time.
All right, dear.
All right.
Thank you for
Thank
taking my
you.
call.
All right, thank you so much. Caller, we're going to take this call, and then we're going to go listen to Aretha for a few minutes. So go ahead. You're on the air.
This is Ruby from Holland Park, and I got a ballot last Friday, absentee, and I didn't ask for it. I went to the polls last time. Is it too early for the ballots to be coming out? So
Are you talking about an absentee? You talking about an absentee ballot?
Yes, ma'am.
No, I got mine. I got one last week.
Okay, because I got it. Because they so slick out here in Holland Park. I don't know.
She got in Highland Park, yeah.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
better watch
you
out.
pay attention to everything and look at the date that's on there that tells you when it has to be turned in. But I live in Detroit, and I got mine last week.
Okay. Okay, you ladies doing a great job.
All right,
And
thank you so much.
Some Tony Nuns barbecue is just like green.
I ain't mad at you. Okay.
All right, thank you.
All right. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right. Junior, we about ready to do this. Now, Marion, I talked about this a couple of weeks already. And I had, the first time I heard this song, Mary, Don't You Weep, it was with the Morehouse Men's Choir, who used to come up to New Calvary Baptist and walk down the aisle. All those young men could sing, and it was, that's the college that Dr. King graduated from. And that's the first time I heard that song, Mary, Don't You Weep.
But that doesn't say Dr. King can sing.
No. I'm talking about Martin Luther King, not Oscar
I thought
King.
you were talking about Oscar.
No. And so this is my hairdresser. She gave me this copy of this particular album, and we're going to ask Junior to put it on. Yeah, Miss Denise.
Have those records,
Denise be having it, yes. And this
Lord,
is
she
number
did.
4, and it's Aretha Franklin's rendition of Mary, Don't You Weep. Now, this is the story of Mary and Martha,
Yes.
and they got a brother named Lazarus. Okay, so Junior, turn it up loud.
Don't moan. Listen, Mary. Tell your sister to don't moan. Pharaoh's army. All of them men got Jesus said, Mary, Mary, don't weep. Don't weep. Tell your sister not to mourn. Don't mourn. Don't mourn. We're gonna review the story of two sisters called Mary and Martha. They had a brother named Lazarus. One day while Jesus was away, that day, our poor brother died. Yeah, yeah. When I Mary went running to Jesus, she said, Master, sweet Lord. Oh Lord, if you had been here, my brother wouldn't have died. Oh yes, she did. Jesus said, come on and show me where you buried him. Show me where you laid him down. And when he got there, Jesus said, for the benefit of you who don't believe in me this evening, I'm gonna call it 3 times. Oh yes I am. Oh yes I am. He said, Lazarus, Lazarus, hear my voice. Lazarus. Oh yeah. He got up walking like a natural man. Oh yes he did. Oh yes he did. Jesus said, oh man, don't you leave. Go on home and don't you and your sister moan. Don't moan no more. Because you see, Pharaoh's army, they got drafted. They drafted. Martha, don't you moan.
And we want to send that out to Dr. Ford because she have to understand that, our group takes a while to react. But I know one thing, just let welfare rights go and put our heads together, and we want to do something about this because we have to bring the power out, and that power being poor people. Poor women been through this for how long? Ever since we were on the ship, Maureen.
I seen your head. Yes, I understand it.
And,
Our
since
engineer
we
just went by.
shopping,
He going to make
he
copies.
needs copies. Yeah.
Boy, that child sang that song,
song.
and the first time I heard that is when Miss Denise gave me a copy of it. But the message, Mary, you so right, is for
dynamite.
those of you that don't believe that dry bones can leave. Yeah, those of you that
dry
don't believe,
bones.
I've done some other stuff in the past. You know, you
Yes.
might want to recall, because I buried the whole army in the Red Sea.
Yeah.
So for those of you that don't believe, I can tell you right now, don't moan, and you ain't got to weep no more, because I'm going to call him
No.
3 times, and he going to get up.
And that's what's going to happen to a lot of you. We're going to have to call you 3 times. And on the
To
third
make you
time,
get up.
you come and join this army. I don't care if you have to have a stick like I do, if you have to be in a wheelchair. We got to put a halt to this mess
This
that's
is a
going on.
horrible mess, you
This
know?
is outright fascism that is going on, Maureen. When this woman went before before these nuts yesterday, when you look at it, and who brought it out was on the TV today.
Go ahead. What's the point you're
But
going
the
to?
point is, here's what she had to look at. They showed the whole. Whoopi did it. Look what
All
she had
white
to-
men.
All white men.
Men.
Old men too.
Men.
And that's who she had to look at.
That's
to
all
be
right.
able to explain to them
What
how
had
she
happened.
what had happened,
Yeah,
and they
humiliated.
did not believe it. And the ironic thing about it, Maureen, he ain't just raped her.
Well, he didn't rape her. He touched her and he tried to.
Yeah,
But they ain't the first woman he
That's
didn't
what I'm
touched up.
saying. This man been throwing this through our wife, and his wife sitting back there.
Maybe he
with
did
a,
it.
with a little
Well,
grin on her face.
she don't
I say,
know.
You should be disgraced.
Well, she
for
didn't
the
believe
fact
her.
that, and he gonna talk about what his family and suffered.
What about her family?
That woman done suffered all practically from the time she was 15
Yeah.
until where she is
36
now.
years.
It's a shame, and I know.
Just a minute, caller.
We know a lot of us have suffered that
I
type of
don't
suffering.
know any woman,
I do.
any color, who has been able to escape the hands of somebody that felt they needed to
And
touch
they think
you.
that they got the
And they got the right. I don't know any woman that has
Hmm.
been able to escape that. 868-433-686-80351. I hope you enjoyed that, Mary Don't You Weep, and caller. You've been so patient. You are on the air.
Good evening, fellow patriots.
And
That
good
was
evening, sir.
And, sir.
Patriots of all, Miss Aretha Franklin was a great patriot.
Yes,
and,
she is.
Man, y'all had me over here swinging back and forth like I was in church. 'Cause, I don't do church. I'm sorry to say
I
that.
know.
I
But
don't do
but had you heard that rendition before?
no, I have not.
Make you get up out your chair, don't it?
I got to get that.
I said make you get up out your chair, don't
The
it?
Holy Ghost.
That's right. See, as a
What a
child,
story, what
as
a story.
child, I was in a Baptist church, and that minister could sing.
Yeah, but ain't nobody
But
singing
he
that
could
song
not. Now, wait a
like
minute,
that,
let me
boy.
finish. He couldn't hit it like Aretha could. But I had heard that song as a kid.
Well, what you said, caller, had you jumping up and down out of your chair. Junior
That's
already
right, man.
taping it. He making copies
Well-
already. I looked at Junior, his head was in there rolling, boy. Caller, I tell you, that song, and once I got it.
And that should be our marching
And I
song.
listening for the benefit of those who don't believe that poor people can lead.
Ha.
We can. We can. So, caller, I'm glad you were
survived
able
this
to
long.
listen to that and try to get your hands on a copy
That's
of that
right.
one, okay?
Well, I am going to try. But I called to say I need you ladies' help on this project. that
Anytime.
I'm putting out, okay?
Anytime.
It's about definition. And, when we keep saying white people, because I know some white people and I know some great people, but I don't know any white people because I don't need to know any races because those races are white people. And white people was in our family. We go way back, when
that's
folks
right.
used to pass for white.
We all the same.
We all the same.
I agree.
But then we got the white people. They don't care about nothing and nobody. They are. Those were the people that sitting up at the Senate conference judging.
Yeah,
this young lady.
yeah. The point that Marion was making is that here's a woman that had to describe the horrible thing that happened to her body, and she's telling all men.
All men. And they got the audacity.
And the little woman
to
that
be
was
sitting
there,
I say,
they didn't want to hear from her too much. She was too soft spoken. So If she asked a
That's
couple
what-
of
that's what
questions, they were
privilege
done
does,
with
you
her.
know? That's what privilege do to you. You feel like you're entitled to have
Yeah, to
anything
do
Yeah.
what you want.
Yeah.
You know, we turn it like you kings or monarchs. I thought that ship had sailed years ago.
Hey, listen,
No,
that's
no.
why the new board members at the African American Museum are talking about how we don't clearly understand Thomas Jefferson.
Let me
and,
say,
and how they want to, provide an expose of him during Black History Month in February. You know, what you think, caller?
Well,
listen,
like I said, I understand Thomas Jefferson when he said that when we have agreements with this government, then we have a right to dismantle this government.
That's very
That's
true.
right.
I believe that. Okay.
that is right.
Now, that's the words that I like with Thomas Jefferson.
I agree.
As far as his offbeat lifestyle, like other people like Harvey Weinstein and Bill O'Reilly. And,
Yep.
those
Ayers from
folks,
Channel
yeah.
2.
Oh
Yeah,
my
all
God,
of them.
how many?
Matt
So-
Lauer,
but-
all of them.
But the words that people say, do we live by them? I do. See, we need to get back to dedication to family
I agree, sir.
and respect.
Defining.
That's all Jesus wants everybody to have respect for each other,
Let,
and especially women. I got 4 sisters, and I love my mother.
all right.
Until we get that understanding that, hey, these women are the greatest of God's creations, okay?
Yes.
And I cannot over it. But we got to get to the understanding that, what Sigmund Freud, just a little bit of psychology, the super ed, that, Maureen and Mary. Y'all know about that.
I remember.
We got to start teaching that you got to get everybody up to the super ed level of understanding, because desire is in everybody.
That's right.
But how you project it is that's what we all identify each other as, or who we are.
Well, now, whatever the project is that you
Let
want
us
us
know.
to work on, we're going to stand with you on whatever that is, okay?
All right.
And
I-
listen to what
y'all
I
have a
have
great
to
evening.
say right after you get off this
All right,
phone,
caller.
okay?
Thank you so much.
All right.
All right.
Listen, Maureen, the CEO that they brought in was from Dow Chemical, a black man who said, "Don't look at me as a black man. Look at me and no, as a businessman. That's what I am," he said.
Well,
And he has come to work every day in a different kind of expensive car.
of course.
And this
Kevin
man
Orr.
don't need. Oh, boy, please.
Yeah.
Kevin Orr. This man don't believe in our community, and this man is not a part of the working
Hold on,
class.
caller.
He is a part of the ruling class that is carrying on for Dow Chemical, General Motors, Ford Motor Company, and whatever corporation. We know Dan Gilbert is probably one of them down there, as well as the mayor, because he hasn't come out and said nothing. So we're gonna have to.
We have to work on this.
Now we're gonna
Yeah.
have to start
Stop
singing.
this.
Coming from somewhere,
Hold on,
marching
caller.
from somewhere, Maureen, and march right in front of that Afro-American Museum, all around it, and let them know that Pharaoh's army
Got
drowned
drowned in the Red Sea.
And I want you to know we ain't weeping no more.
Caller, you are on the air. Thank you for waiting, and thank you for calling Ask Welfare
Thank you.
Rights.
Thank you for taking my call.
Yes, ma'am.
I've got good news for you.
Okay.
This FBI investigation will stop him from getting on the Supreme Court. Let me tell you why. Because in the state of Maryland, there is no statute of limitation. And he's going to jail.
That's if they convict him.
I sure hope so.
The FBI investigation will reveal what he did.
Well,
That's if they give
I'm
that.
claiming that.
and I sure want that to be true, because it was not revealed by the time he was given a lifetime position on the circuit court.
Oh, no, but they didn't have those incidents. The FBI going to invest these new claims,
Ma'am,
not the old ones.
from your lips to God's ears, okay?
All right.
All right,
All
darling.
right, thanks for
And
calling.
thank you
And
so
I
very
love
much.
that song. You should have a fundraiser because I want 2 copies.
Well, wait a minute. Had you ever heard that rendition
No,
before?
I never heard it.
All right,
Me and my
yeah,
husband
you've
are
heard it
going
from
through
tonight.
health challenges.
What is your
and we
name?
got up shouting.
Make you
We
jump
thought
up.
we were in
She said,
church.
stood out, start shouting. Make you jump right out your
God
chair.
all the glory. That's
I'm glad you
Glad
enjoyed it,
you
dear,
enjoyed
okay?
it.
thank you.
Okay.
Thank you for calling.
Caller, you're on the air. We're down to our last 5 minutes. Thank you for waiting.
Yes, Maureen.
Yes.
Yes, I want to give you a little history on that song.
Okay, now wait a minute. I want to hear.
Baptist Church.
Okay, wait a minute. I want to hear the history, but hold on just 1 second. Caller, don't hang up. Marion, the young lady that calls us and gives us the information about jobs, I want to say it before I forget. She called down to Welfare Rights, and Gwen and Augustus and them took the call, and they gave that call to somebody who had just left the Welfare Rights office looking for work. And they ran down the steps and got him. Gave him the information, gave him some bus fare. He went there. That was last week. He started working at the job today.
Isn't that wonderful?
Isn't that wonderful? Wonderful,
Keep
wonderful.
that job
man.
going. Lee.
Yeah, boy. Okay, now give us some history, because Marion wanted to know who wrote that. I don't recall. So tell us.
She made the song, and the album was made on a cassette first at New Bethel Baptist Church. Her father was still the pastor, and she had on an African outfit. I have the cassette, and now it's on
CD.
Yes.
Yeah.
But it was first on a cassette.
But who wrote it?
And she was also with James Cleveland. You remember him?
yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. That's part of the history. I don't remember it all, but I was there.
Okay, now we trying to figure out who wrote that one.
I don't know. I'd have to look on my cassette.
Hey, go
And
get.
I'll call you back later, maybe at the office.
Okay. Get your glasses and go get your
My glasses
flashlight
ain't magnified.
and your magnifying glasses.
But
Go
if
read them
if
details.
you remember Aretha, that's all we could listen to practically in the South was Reverend Franklin and Aretha and them coming out singing and everything in the evening.
I don't know nothing
And
about that.
the little children be sitting around all of us.
I'm born in the north.
She made that one at New Bethel on Linwood.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, God bless you all.
All right, darling.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
They used to have it going.
I don't know nothing about that. I'm born in the north. I don't know
Yeah,
what
no
you're
wonder
talking
you
about.
were uneducated.
Caller, you are on the air, and we down our last 3 minutes. Did you get a chance to
Excellent
listen?
idea about using that for a fundraiser.
Oh,
Mary,
I
was
love
the
it.
idea. Oh, Mary, don't you weep.
Isn't that something?
Fundraiser time, transformation time, moving forward.
And thank you, darling.
Thank you, darling.
Coming out of Egypt.
All right, thank you so very much. Caller, you on the air. Thank you for waiting.
Everybody get out and make sure if you have not registered, you got to register by the 9th of October. Get out and register. It's very important. We vote. Vote for them judges on the back of your ballot.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
Yeah.
vote Democrat.
Yeah.
So
Okay,
anyway,
caller, you on it.
All right.
All right, thank you, darling.
Thank you.
Thank you for waiting, and thank you for calling Ask Welfare Rights. We're down to our last 3 minutes. Go.
Well, I
Caller.
just thank y'all for all y'all do. May God bless you.
And thank you.
Everything you do.
Thank
And
you
I
so
want
much.
Everybody that call this program to take heed to what you tell them, the knowledge, the respect, and the love. And I wish y'all the best.
And thank you
And
so much, caller.
We wish it for you.
All right, thank you
Okay.
very much.
Thank you.
Caller, you've been waiting, and thank you for waiting, and thank you for calling Ask Welfare Rights. We're down to our last 2 minutes. Quickly.
Thank you so much. The album is Aretha Franklin, Amazing Grace.
What is it, Aretha Franklin, Amazing Grace?
Amazing Grace, the album. It's a beautiful album with pictures inside, and it's with...
Now, what year did it come out?
Community Choir.
What year did it come out?
1972.
1962.
72.
72. All right, the person that
The
wrote...
album says 1972.
72, Mary. The person that wrote "Oh Mary, Don't You Weep" was the song came out in 1957, but I don't know who wrote it.
It's a old
Okay,
song.
all right, caller. Thank you so
But
much.
Aretha put the
Okay,
heat
and
to it.
thank you for playing it.
All right, it sounded good, didn't it?
Yes, it did.
Ooh, Lord.
Jumping up.
Jumping up and down. Thank you so much. Caller, you on the air. We're down to our last 1 minute. Go.
Hi, hello, Miss Taylor and Miss Kramer.
Yes.
How you doing?
I would like a quick question. Do you know what the SNAP program is?
Yes,
Yes.
a supplemental nutrition I forgot what the A
Food
stands
stamps
for
and
and a program. But what it means is food stamps.
Hello.
It means bridge card.
Say what?
Yeah, the bridge card.
It
Yes.
means bridge card.
They still do bridge card?
Yeah. I think they do.
Okay.
Okay, I didn't think they did the bridge
Listen
card
right
anymore.
quick.
Oh, okay,
My
but
evaluation,
wait a
my
minute,
appointment
wait a
for
minute,
that
what they
Social
said.
Security evaluation.
okay, say it again. Say it again.
On that appointment I had for the Social Security evaluation.
Yes,
they
did you?
called, gave me
Okay.
They sent me a letter saying I receive SNAP, and I don't receive SNAP.
That's food stamps. Do you get food stamps?
No, I haven't got food stamps in over 2 years.
Okay. Are you eligible for food stamps?
Last time I was on, it was $16.
Yes. Okay, but that means you're eligible for them. But what you're saying is that you don't get them.
Right.
Okay. They just saying that you're still entitled to that, but they didn't turn off your supplemental insurance, did they?
No.
Good. Then you all right. If you have
I got another interview on the phone on the 15th of October.
okay, and it wouldn't be a problem if you come down to welfare rights and do the interview down there with us. We'd be happy to help you. Okay.
On the computer?
No, they call you on the phone, don't they?
Well, they say I can go online and do it if I want to do it now.
I don't like that way, because that way a lot of times is problematic. But we will offer our assistance if that's what you'd like to do. We'd be happy to help you.
They're going to start at 9 a.m. on the.
Wait a minute.
No, never mind. Anytime we got to go someplace at 9 a.m., it better be an offer of marriage involved with that, okay? We'll talk to you later. Here.
All right, bye-bye. Have a good one.
All right, goodbye. All right, Carl, you are the last one. You only have 10 seconds.
Don't forget October the 1st. It's supposed to be cutting a lot of people off the bridge card from October the 1st, which
October the 1st. Okay, we'll have to discuss that next week, and those folks that got cut off on October the 1st, we'll be talking to them. But thank you for reminding us, okay?
Oh, the bridge card.
Yeah, bridge card. Marion, you have 5 seconds to say
Good
goodnight.
night, and I have really enjoyed myself tonight. Let's do more of this.
Here we go. She said, for those of you that didn't believe, the group got drowned in the Red Sea. Lord willing, the creek don't rise. We'll see you next week, and Junior gonna take us out with Aretha. Sing that stuff.
I'd stand right where Moses stood. Yes, I would. Pharaoh's army. I know you know that story of how they got drowned in the sea one day. Oh yeah. Jesus said, Mary, don't we tell you?
You're watching WHPS, Highland Park, Detroit.